The approval of massive air operations marks a clear shift in how the federal government is handling the security crisis in the Northwest, and what people are witnessing now is not just another routine military announcement, but a coordinated push to apply sustained pressure on armed groups that have operated freely for too long. This decision follows weeks of escalating attacks on rural communities, highways, and farming settlements, where innocent people have continued to suffer losses, displacement, and fear. The message from the authorities is simple. The era of easy movement and safe hideouts for violent groups is coming to an end, and air power is now being used more aggressively to back up ground forces. As these operations intensify, military aircraft have been deployed to target forest routes, camps, and supply lines believed to be used by armed groups that have terrorized parts of Zamfara, Sokoto, and neighboring areas. These forests are vast and difficult to access, which is why they have served as long-term shelters for criminals who understand the terrain better than anyone else. Air surveillance and precision strikes are now being used to disrupt their movements, weaken their coordination, and reduce their ability to regroup after attacks. This is a calculated approach aimed at cutting off escape routes and limiting the space in which these groups can operate. At the center of public discussion is the name Bello Turji, a figure who has become symbolic of the wider insecurity problem in the region. Over the years, his name has been linked to several violent incidents, making him one of the most talked about figures whenever security issues are discussed. With air operations now targeting known routes and camps, many people believe the pressure on him and similar figures has increased significantly. The idea behind the strategy is not only to pursue individuals, but to dismantle the networks that support them, including logistics, communication lines, and movement corridors. While these operations are ongoing, it is important to understand that security actions of this scale do not produce instant results. Airstrikes alone cannot solve the problem overnight, but they play a major role in weakening the capacity of armed groups to launch frequent attacks. Ground troops are still active, working alongside air support to secure communities, protect major roads, and prevent the return of displaced residents from being interrupted by fresh violence. This combination of air and ground effort is designed to restore confidence in affected areas and allow normal life to gradually return. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss verified updates and clear explanations like this. Your support helps us continue bringing you real-time news and analysis in a simple and clear way. For the communities on the ground, the situation remains delicate. Many families are still cautious, watching closely to see if these new measures will bring lasting relief. Farmers want to return to their land without fear, traders want safe roads, and parents want their children to attend school without worry. These are the real expectations behind the headlines, and they explain why public attention is so focused on the outcome of these operations. The government's position is that sustained pressure is necessary. In the past, temporary operations created brief calm only for violence to return once attention shifted elsewhere. This time, the approach appears to focus on consistency and follow-through. By maintaining aerial monitoring and rapid response capability, security forces aim to prevent armed groups from reorganizing or exploiting gaps. This is meant to change the pattern that has allowed cycles of violence to continue for years. Like this video and subscribe right now if you want us to keep breaking these issues down in a way that is easy to understand and free from unnecessary confusion. Staying informed matters. Another important part of the discussion is public communication. Authorities are urging citizens to rely on verified information and avoid spreading unconfirmed claims that can cause panic or misunderstanding. In situations like this, rumors can travel faster than facts, and that can create fear even where progress is being made. The focus remains on careful assessment, official briefings, and steady updates as operations continue. There is also a broader national implication to these actions. Security in one region affects the entire country. When farming communities are attacked, food supply is affected. When roads become unsafe, trade suffers. When people are displaced, pressure increases on neighboring states. This is why the current strategy is being presented as a national priority, not just a regional concern. As operations continue, analysts are watching closely to see how armed groups respond. Reduced movement, fewer attacks, and disrupted communication would signal that the pressure is working. On the other hand, Any attempt to relocate or expand into new areas will likely trigger further action. This is a dynamic situation, and the coming weeks are expected to provide clearer indications of how effective the current approach will be. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps, and it keeps you connected to accurate and calm reporting. At this point, the emphasis remains on patience and consistency. Security challenges built over many years cannot disappear in a few days, but sustained action can gradually change the situation. Communities, security agencies, and government institutions all have roles to play in ensuring that progress is not reversed. The situation continues to develop, and as pressure increases on armed groups, there is growing attention on how these actions are being coordinated and sustained. What makes the current phase different from past efforts is the emphasis on constant monitoring rather than short bursts of action. Security forces are focusing on preventing regrouping, which has been a major challenge in the past. When armed groups scatter after an operation, they often return quietly weeks later. This time, surveillance is being used to track movement patterns and respond quickly before new threats fully form. For many residents in affected areas, even small signs of reduced activity bring cautious hope. Fewer reports of night raids, reduced movement along known criminal routes, and calmer markets are indicators people watch closely. These signs may not always make headlines, but they matter deeply to those who live there. The aim is to reach a point where normal daily life no longer feels like a risk. That is the real measure of success for any security operation. At the same time, there is a strong focus on protecting civilians during these operations. Air activities are guided by intelligence to reduce harm to innocent people and property. This is critical because public trust plays a big role in long-term stability. When communities feel protected rather than endangered, they are more willing to cooperate with security agencies and share information that can help prevent future attacks. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It supports responsible reporting and helps this information reach more people who need clear updates. Another key issue people are discussing is the economic impact of prolonged insecurity. Farming seasons have been disrupted for years, and many farmers have abandoned fertile land due to fear. This affects food prices and availability across the country. By pushing armed groups out of these areas, the government hopes to reopen agricultural zones and allow food production to recover. This is not just about safety. It is also about economic stability and food security.